Men of Reddit, what instantly turned you off a woman? Her daughter asked her for permission to go to a friend's house. She told her daughter to ask me for permission. We had only been dating for a month and I had only met the kid once. I had never seen a 9-year-old cringe before. That was your cue to step up with the true dad response. Ask your mother. Shit, that's brilliant. But I was still processing the fact that I was suddenly being asked to give a dad response for the first time ever. When she thought the appropriate response to me saying something she didn't agree with was a slap across the face. She had gotten into a fight with her friend because of something she was completely in the wrong about. I made the mistake of calling her out on it. Oh, I have a strong policy on this. A girl gets one warning not to face slap me again. If it ever happens again, I walk right the fuck out of the situation and never speak to them again. I don't give a flying fuck if it's in jest or not that hard. I had one relationship where I literally became a black and blue punching bag and another where the I'm joking slaps left my face sore for days. They both started out playful and quickly progressed to abusive, and that's not a fucking game. I don't hit you in the face for any reason. You do not hit me in the face for any reason. I don't give a shit how angry you are. I thought maybe we could try an open relationship after I caught her fucking one of my friends. Wait, she legit thought that card would work after getting caught. What the fuck, yo? Yeah, I was told a lot of lies in a very short period of time. It's quite a story. Things are better now, though. Long term, best thing that ever happened to me. My second date with this one girl was going to a Christmas party of mutual friend. After we were there for a little while, she started talking to this other guy and they went to some corner where no one else could interrupt them and talked for an hour. When they were done talking, she immediately told me she was leaving and up and bounced. Totally turned me off, so I didn't talk to her again for a while. A month later she reached out and was like, why haven't you called me? I was kind of dumbfounded that she would actually ask. I didn't have anything else going on at the time, so I figured we could try again, but the Christmas party left such a bad taste in my mouth I couldn't even feign interest. This is what my coworker did to me. Asked me out. We went out. She danced with other dudes and then came back to the table with 2 drinks and set them down and started drinking. I assumed the other one was for me and took a swig. She looked annoyed at me and asked me if that was mine. Then she looked exasperated and came back with another drink and explained to me she was trying to pick up this dude and took her 2 drinks over to some guy's table. I gathered my shit to leave and she stopped me before I hit the door saying that if this guy didn't want to take her home she would need a ride. Still, I just nodded and left. Stopped talking to her altogether. Later on she wrote me a note saying stuff like, why haven't we followed up? And I thought we liked each other and so on. She couldn't understand why I lost interest in her. Had a girl I dated and we were pretty into each other. One day she got extremely upset with me for saying something pretty innocuous because it reminded her of something from her past. I said I'd remember not to bring that up in the future and apologized, though that didn't seem to suffice. It appeared I was to be punished or treated poorly for it. I asked if I could get a pass on this as there was no way I could have known what I said would have bothered her, but no. I asked her if there was anything else that really set her off like this, and she said yes, though I'd have to find out on my own. I asked if there was anything I could do in the future to avoid upsetting her or causing one of these situations, and again she angrily said no. I was getting a little perturbed by this point and asked if she was really blaming me for saying something harmless that I had absolutely no idea would set her off that way, and she said yes. So I tried to reason with her one last time. So you're telling me that there is a minefield out there, that you know where all the mines are, but refuse to tell me, and that if I step on one of these and it goes off it is my fault and I should be punished as a result. Indeed she did. We were supposed to go out for supper, but I told her I wasn't hungry, got in my car and went home. If you're going to create the path and conditions of failure for our relationship, you can trust that I will find the shortcut every time. Seeing her treat her parents like doormats, or seeing her treat anyone like doormats, or seeing her treat her doormats like people, that's a turn on, actually. We were both 20, hanging out at her nice apartment. She casually, proudly told me she had a sugar daddy, a married guy I knew and loathed. Lumbug. Say hello to Lumberg for me. I had a girlfriend recently, only lasted about 7 months, and this is one of the reasons I, in the end, couldn't stand her. Every time she talked about something, and I thought she finished speaking, and I started to speak, she continued speaking, but in slightly louder tone, as if I rudely interrupted her. And if I happened to do it again, she just went from loud to louder. Her speaking pattern was filled with pauses, so it was very easy to mistake one of those pauses for a finished sentence. Love the way you changed the font for the tone. Made me giggle as I got the picture in my head. Told her friend in public that my mom was stupid and made fun of her for 20 minutes. She didn't know my mother's friend was sitting next to her in the restaurant and heard the whole thing. We were in college and in a different town, which made the whole experience for her that much more unfortunate. I was done. Particularly because my mom was nothing but the kindest person to her and made every effort to make her feel welcome when she visited. Damn, fuck that chick. Not literally though. Good lord, sounds like you dodged a bullet with that one. Not being able to stay off your phone. I'm on a date to talk to you, not watch you track your followers. I've actually been out with a girl who was actively tracking her online dating while we were on the date. Noped right out of that one. Saying how my major isn't manly enough, I'm in nursing school BTW, and love it. Edit. Wow, was not expecting this to be upvoted so much. Thank you all for your support. I hope to become an amazing nurse someday, hopefully either IQ or surgery, but I would love to do travel nursing too. Close bracket. Well, she's a twat. Well, she's clearly not getting any assistance from him at the hospital when there's something wrong with her own twat. Testing your commitment. Especially if they want to see if you'd fight for me. A girl I knew in high school asked to borrow $500 from me as a test. I apparently failed. I'm sorry, but I was in high school and didn't even have $500 to my name, lol. Edit. Grammar. It was a test to see if she could con some guy out of $500. Instant clinginess. We went out, had a great date and some light fun at her place. She called me the next day while I was out with a friend. I didn't answer. She then called me over and over again until I finally answered. We are talking about 10 to 15 calls in a row, and when I answered I asked if anything was wrong. Since she kept calling, she said no and said she just hates texting and prefers talking on the phone. I had to calmly explain to her I was out with a friend, and if I don't answer, I will call you back. But calling me over and over makes me think it's an emergency. We tried one more date, but at that point it was awkward, and I was no longer invested. Also had one girl text me over 130 times in one day after one date. It was worse, because we worked at the same place, albeit different departments. It surprised me in both cases. I thought they were out of my league. Breaking up with me. I'm sorry, but if you dump me, that's it. Relationship over. I was in a relationship that over the course of 3 years we had broken up twice, and both times were more her idea than mine. The final time we broke up I refused to take her back, and she got upset with me saying that we got back together the first 2 times, so I would have to take her back this time. She got mad at me saying that it wasn't fair because she didn't want it to be over. I just looked at her and said, well, sometimes breakups are one-sided. My cat and her dog didn't get along. She said I'd have to choose between her and her dog or the cat. I picked cat. She cried. It was the second date. Bye-bye. I have an accent, so anyone who is way too into that gets the boot pretty quickly. I once walked out on a date because she spent 30 minutes trying to impersonate me and couldn't understand why I didn't think it was endearing. As someone with a southern accent, I know the feeling. I lived in court for 2 years and had someone from Boston making fun of my accent. Get yakakis and get out of here. I bet it's because as a Bostoner in court, they probably get their accent shit on full time. Still lame though, sorry to hear. Bad breath and bad hygiene. She looked decent enough, but I couldn't get past the smell. I was on a date where she was really mean to the waiter for a stupid reason, like not enough ice in her cocktail or something, I forget exactly. All of the feelings just evaporated. I was on a date with a girl who did this. She was a waitress also. I couldn't fucking believe it. It's insane that people think this is acceptable. I have some golden rules for living. Number 1 is never be rude to people who would be fired if they were rude back. Entitlement. As in, I deserve special treatment every day of my life cause I'm so beautiful. Makes me want to barf, no matter how pretty they are. An ex once told me, I guess is a joke in her mind, that she thought she was too pretty for me. That was the last straw there. Time will have its revenge. If she hasn't bothered to develop a personality, she'll be very lonely when the pretty wears off. Bad attitudes. Met a girl online once. She seemed cool. Met her in person and she immediately starts off, "This is the kind of Mustang you drive?" And I'm not exaggerating, she said it as rudely as possible. So I asked her to get out and she refused. "Fuck that, you owe me a movie. We are going to see a movie. Shitty car or not." I had to throw her purse out the window to get her the fuck out of my car. Edit. It was a 96 GT. It was a shitty Mustang, but that's besides the point. That's just bad manners and this lady drove a goddamn Gia E2. Jesus. 310 upvotes. Not sure if you guys just like Mustangs or if the story was that good. I'm humbled. Have a good day y'all. I've been rejected or dissed for shitty cars and nice cars. When I drove older, uninteresting cars, it was a turn off for many. When I drove snappy, luxury cars, it was a turn off for others. I really don't have any interest in being judged for my car either way.